Hello everyone, welcome to my weather news channel. Stay up to date with the weather news every day. The winter more families a tuning of their heads, and most of energy used to run them comes from coal-fired power plants that sends tiny particles of arid dust into the air. Those tiny particles or particulate matter what turns clean air into smoke. Particles in the air can reduce visibility and contribute to acid rain, which can damage vegetation. The particle can also discolor buildings, but the primary concern with particulate matters is what it gets to the human body. Particulate smaller than of particular concern to health experts, as particulate that smell can damage the lungs, aggravate asthma, and even cause heart attacks. Inhaling particulate matter can even prove fatal for people who have extensive heart or lung conditions. Bearing smoke was computed by an incident of geography, according to Eik Weather. Beijing is bordered by the Hessen and Yunnan mountains. When a high pressure weather system moves in air in the city, software doesn't move up and over the Hebei mountain range. It just cities area getting more and more polluted, and residents keep breathing it in. China is taking steps to address this. The government has restricted driving in an effort to staunch air pollution from cars, but that measure is temporary. China is still the world's largest consumer of coal by far and plans to continue using the city source of power. There is some cause for optimism, like beginning. Los Angeles also sits in a blow-like depression, hemmed in by hills and sea, and like Beijing in once had a serious smoke problem, but strict regulations implemented over the past few decades have helped reduce the amount of smoke in Los Angeles, bringing back the blue skies. There is hope that they could return to China too. Those residents shouldn't expect to breathe easy anytime soon. Massive planting of trees and bushes in fragile air has reduced the storm's intensity, but the expansion of cities and industries has put constant pressure on the environment. Those hot China. The Environment Ministry said last year that the situation had improved, with the first storm now arriving much later in the hour and not lasting as long as they ought a decade ago. Some residents in Ningxia in China's west said they woke up in the middle of the night feeling as though they couldn't breathe. One commented in Weibo joked that they felt like they needed to learn how to write a kernel. Sandstorms are relatively common at this time of year and usually attributed to winds blowing across the Gobi Desert, but long-term residents said they had not seen one of these 70 in years. Large-scale deforestation is also considered a factor in the spring dust storms, and China has been trying to reinforce and restore the ecology of the region in order to limit how much sand is blown into the capital. Beijing and surrounding regions have been suffering from high levels of pollution in recent weeks, with the city shrouded in smoke during the national session of parliament, which began earlier this month. Times can China stop steelmaking city and a major source of pollution in Beijing in Hebei said on Saturday. This week, millions of people in northern China suffered through the region's largest and strongest dust storm in over a decade. On Monday morning, the country's National Meteorological Center warned airborne sand and dust were expected to stretch from the northwest Heilongjiang province to the northwest Henan region. The ecological storm may have started after a brief snow surge in Mongolia picked up dust and comes after weeks of heavy air pollution in northern China. The storm kept hundreds of scheduled air flights ground and closed schools on Monday, reports Stephen Lee Myers of the New York Times. Officials in the capital city of Beijing ordered children, the elderly and the sick to stay indoors and urged others to stop non-essential outdoor activity. Or as he for the South China Morning Post, the China Meteorological Administration says visibility on Beijing on Monday had reset to about 1 kilometer, on Naich 6 miles. The center recommended the public shut doors and windows and wear masks and scarves to protect from airborne pollution. In the United States, the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) regulates their particles, which are their language about 30 times smaller than a strand of human hair. The EPA says most particulate matter over particle pollution is created when pollutions produced from factories, cars and industries react to each other in the atmosphere. However, some matter indirectly furnished by sources such as fires of construction cities. Sandstorm in China and common during this time of year, reports the Guardian, and they usually connected to winds sweeping through the Gobi Desert to the north of China and south of Mongolia. Cheng Binoy, an official with the National Meteorological Center, says of whirlwind Knawa as a Mongolian cyclone combined with hot and dry conditions in Mongolia may have caused this week storm. The sandstorm in Mongolia in severe Chengdu to the South China Morning Post. With proper transmission conditions, it has resulted in severe sandstorm in Beijing. The New York Times reports Mongolia had a short but intensive snowstorm, Knawa as a snow usual, which brought with it winds that picked up dust. At least 9 people in the country died following the snowstorm and Insink dust storm, spring dust storm, and also influenced by description. To stop the pollutions from entering the capital, China has tried creating a green wall of things to block their movement and various other environmental efforts. Last year, China's President Xi Jinping pleaded to increase efforts lowering carbon emissions, and air quality in the country has improved over the last few years, per the New York Times. However, smoke was present in China over the previous 5 weeks, and a new 5-hour development plan did not feature specific ideas on combating climate change that environmental groups were looking for. Subscribe to the channel so as not to miss important weather news.